on today's video, sneak peek of the next update as Lilith drops a bomb on us. The Wheel of Fortune is changing, the Mightiest Governor is changing, Legendary Tavern is being added. And I mean, it's been well over a year since every single content creator on the planet for Rise of Kingdoms told them in the private messages we need changes for Wheel of Fortune, Mightiest Governor. 2 years later, they finally figure it out. And in this video, we're going to talk exactly about what these changes are, why they're so impactful for the better and for the worst. Because remember, everywhere you see a carrot, it tends to be tied to a stick. So sit back, slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Alright, listen. For a little while now, for the past, since Baba did what he did and started going very proactive about Lilith changing things, they have been doing all of these non-stop attempts to kind of calm the community down. And this seems like one of those attempts where they essentially are rushing a little bit parts of the upcoming patch notes to make people a little more satisfied right now. And there's all these movements in the community which are really awesome, from Wick starting his Community Matters hashtag to Supreme trying to get a big group of people into a Discord to try to discuss what can be changed and how it can be changed and all of these things. The community is indeed on fire and doing pretty much everything it can. So finally Lilith realized that we mean business. And Lilith are paying attention, obviously. But they clearly still don't know what the issue is. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about these changes and why they're so positive. And then we'll go into the negatives as well, because every coin has two sides. The Wheel of Fortune and the Mightiest Governor will synchronize among all kingdoms which have finished Lost Kingdom Season 3. Governors can choose event prize commanders from said lists at the beginning of each event instance of these events. A Legendary Tavern event will be added, in which commanders can recruit a large number of powerful commanders. Now listen. First of all, about damn time. We've known you can have choose-em chests for commanders for the longest time. I think every single content creator at some point or another suggested that we need to change Mightiest Governor and Wheel of Fortune to be choose-em, that you don't need to force us to spin. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't planning on spinning the Nebuchadnezzar wheel, Cyrus wheel. But now I need to figure out how I'm getting 120,000 gems every other week. Because, I mean, I want older commanders. I definitely do. And so this added options. This created options. And options are a good thing. When a person can choose what to do with their gems and is not forced to spin, to spin for a said commander, a lot of things are fixed. People are not going to migrate to young kingdoms to try to pick up commanders that they missed. And people are not going to migrate to old kingdoms to have the latest commanders so that they can compete in a Cyrus League. This allows for diversity of kingdoms. And finally, the old kingdoms can die off, essentially, because that was really the only thing that was left in the old kingdoms, is the fact that they get the commanders first. And now there's nothing left. And also at the same time, you can now go into an old kingdom and repopulate it and just spin the wheel and get the old commanders, which is completely fine. That's the beauty of all of this, is that it creates options. And truly, it changes the landscape of Rise of Kingdoms in insane amounts. And that's just the Wheel of Fortune. In the Mightiest Governor department, I'm actually a little bit worried. Because as of right now, the way it works is that the latest commanders come out in Mightiest Governor, and kingdoms that control their Mightiest Governor make sure that the commander sculptures go to the right people that need the right things for the latest and greatest commanders. But now with choices being open, people are just going to go nuts for these, because 180 sculptures of choose-em chests that you can pick any commander. I mean, who on earth won't want to be first place every single time? And this is going to cause scenarios in which dead kingdoms are going to get filled with people trying to win Mightiest Governors. You're going to get potential situations in which someone who won Mightiest Governor decides to not take the latest commander, but one they want from previous generation, which means your kingdom will have less of the latest commander available. So there is a lot of ups and downs in here. When there's choices and there's freedom, freedom has a cost, and that is the cost. The cost is that it's going to require a lot of work out of leadership to be able to control things. And that's not necessarily a good nor a bad thing. And now let's talk about the flip side of this really quickly. First and foremost, when you give choice, what will happen here is people will abuse that choice. First of all, I can tell you for a fact, well, technically second of all, I can tell you for a fact people are going to spend more wheels because I stopped buying gems because I was like, I kind of don't want Herald. I do want Herald, but I don't really think that I'll spin full for him this time around. And then I was like, definitely not spinning for Cyrus. So I'm going to save my gems and get equipment, get all the VIP shop stuff and all that. But now I'm going to struggle because when the wheel comes back, I'm going to have to start spinning again and again and again and again to be able to catch up with the wheel because, man, spinning 184 times to get 110, 150 legendary commander sculptures of any type of commander, heck, in 2 months, I can finally get my Guan, I can finally get my Genghis Khan, I can finally get any other wheel commander that I haven't gotten. So it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because this is the stick. All of what the community has been trying to do is to make this game a little bit more free-to-play friendly, as well as decrease the healing costs, which will allow us to fight more, and to, in general, just stop milking for money. But the reality behind that is you're going to spend more to get the commanders that you don't have now. So the negative aspect of it is that it's a carrot that is tied to the stick of free-to-play players, realistically, don't really get that much out of this. Yes, they can gather gems, and yes, they can spin the wheel now and get commanders quicker, sure. But those who are benefiting out of this the most are the pay-to-win players, or those who are going to be spinning 100 times, 184 times every single wheel. So, is this a good thing? I'll tell you why it is a good thing. It is a good thing because it only comes in effect after Light versus Darkness, which means all of the whales going into KVK Season 1 and 2 are going to get stuck not being able to continually upgrade their newer and latest and greatest commanders because they just won't have availability to get them. Granted, they can go to an older kingdom, pick a few commanders, and then come back and just use legendary commander sculptures. But this is a good reason why you shouldn't go to KVK Seasons 2 and 3. Because all of this comes into play only after Light versus Darkness. It's an encouragement for those of us who are still playing this game to be able to catch up on all things without harming the younger generation of Rise of Kingdoms players. When it comes to the Legendary Tavern, there have been plenty of leaks about it. I haven't talked about it in detail because, quite frankly, a lot of the leaks, there were a couple of leaks that seemed very unreal. And even so, another event in which you can get commanders and I'm sure is going to cost you money. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but hey, listen. The fact that Lilith are giving us the choice is a really, really good thing. It should have been like that from the beginning, but I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that this is bad. I don't think that there is... I think that Lilith are indeed trying to go the right way, and this is a good step towards the right way to do things in Rise of Kingdoms for sure. But I also like to play devil's advocate in my videos to kind of show you the other side of how things can be perceived. I like this a lot. I'm really looking forward to spinning every single wheel from here on out because I have commanders I have not gotten yet. I have not expertised yet. We're talking, we don't have in here Guan Yu, which I'm going to spin the wheel for, absolutely. I'm going to Mightiest governor of someone I don't want. I'm going to try to end up even top 25 and start working towards my Chandragupta. I definitely want to spin the wheel for Takeda now, even more, because hell, I'm going to work on Takeda and get Attila through the commander sculptures, and now I have Attila Takeda. So there's so many options. I can literally spin wheels for days, get Guan Yu expertise, get Khan expertise, get Takeda expertise, get all these commanders that I didn't get early on, which is fantastic. I don't know how well that'll bode towards those who spent a crazy amount to get these commanders leveled up at the time they were not available out of a choice chest, especially those of us who spent wheels on commander sculptures on wheel commanders that we didn't think we would ever see again in a wheel. And so, again, it has its ups and it has its downs. I do believe that overall this change is positive for Rise of Kingdoms, and I think Lilith are starting to go the right way. But again, you're going to need to do something about helping free-to-play players a little bit more. You're going to need to make it so that, not even free-to-play players, you need to make it so that the game is a little more grindable. You need to put an availability to grind the game and progress. Rise of Kingdoms to this day has no availability. You can't progress by grinding. The most you'll get is indeed one legendary material a day if you do a lot of barbarians, which is nice. And you will get a bunch of speed-ups, which is nice. But without commanders, none of that matters. And so as we are about to take a big boy double rally, first rally is already in-house and Zenobia on the helm holding for dear life in this fort. We're about to hit them with a quick BM like we like to do. The trick about Zenobia, by the way, is you definitely want to cancel the rally as quickly as possible. The longer their rally is hitting, the more damage we do. She does more damage than the other side does, and so the quicker they cancel, like they just did, the more likely the report is to be more even and even more positive towards themselves. Although in this case, I don't think that was the case at all. And I am fairly confident that as we were recording this video, more of these happened, and indeed, while the power was in their favor in here, the dead still weren't, and so forth, and so on. Zenobia is still undefeated for now. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate every single one of you. Drop the like on this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this crazy change down below, and I will see you all sooner rather than later. Have a great day. Take care and have a good one. Peace.